My name's Lucas Stigney. I'm the Industrial Manager here at HACSU, and I've been at HACSU for almost 10 years, but this is my second stint here, so it's almost 15 years in total. Working people put their trust in me, and it's something that I take pretty seriously. Luckily for me, I'm not frightened to have my say. The primary role that I have at the moment is being the public sector coordinator. So I am responsible for the strategy and the organising plans for our public sector organisers. And as most people would know, the state of public health in Tasmania at the moment is as bad as it's ever been. So what it looks like is working with organisers to try and deal with the myriad of issues that our members across the public hospitals, in community health, in mental health, are facing on a day-to-day basis. So it revolves around, helping organisers with whatever strategy they might need to deal with a particular issue. It's meeting with members, it's organising, small workplace-based campaigns so we can try and get better outcomes. So it's supporting workers who don't know what to do, supporting workers who are being exploited by their employer, helping people out of a really tight spot, because this might be a surprise to some people, but not always are our members in the right. Sometimes they have done the wrong thing, and that's a really confronting thing for them to come to us and say, look, I need your help with this, and I have done the wrong thing here. But supporting them and making sure that they get a fair go, well, that's a highlight that continues to happen, and that's something that's really motivating when you're doing this type of work. Yeah, so that's a facility that's called a Minya in Scottsdale, and it was run at the time by Presbyterian Care Tasmania, and they made a decision that they were simply going to close it and pull out of Scottsdale and transfer all the bed licences that they had there to their bigger facilities in Lagana and here in Launceston. And that's not something that a small community like Scottsdale could contemplate. A lot of the residents there had spent their lives in that community, and it would mean that they'd be isolated away from their family and friends. We did a lot of work that you wouldn't traditionally do. So, one element of it was trying to find someone who would underwrite the place and take on the bed licences. And fortunately, at the time, the council did, the Dorset Council, were brave enough to do that, albeit that they told us they weren't going to do it on a permanent basis. Presbyterian Care didn't back down, though. They were adamant they were taking those licences and they were going to shut it down. The community at Scottsdale were rightfully outraged. We just started a really grassroots campaign in Scottsdale, which included, basically letterboxing and door knocking the whole town, pulling up people in the street, having discussions with them. And we organised a community barbecue, and we didn't have enough sausages for the amount of people who turned out. I think there was over 200 people that turned out on the day. And ultimately it sent a message to the decision makers that the community there weren't going to allow it to happen. So eventually the bed licences were transferred to the council, and they underwrote the operation of that for some time. Another aged care provider who operated an aged care facility at Swansea come to manage the facility, Mayshore, and they ended up being the operator of that facility. And that facility's now been extended, it's got more beds, it's a really viable operation, and of course the people who require residential aged care in the northeast, which is quite a big area, from Bridport to probably just north of St Helens. Those people now have a aged care facility in their community that they can rely on. I've got a bit of an approach to life, and it's not just to being a unionist, but it suits being a unionist really well. and that is you've got, when you're faced with something, you've got two choices, and that is you can cop it or you can do something about it. And now, just because you do something about it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win or get your own way, but you're certainly going to lose if you cop it. So when it's something like that, something that's patently unfair, something that affects regional communities that have always been special to me because I grew up in one, then it's not something that you can just let sit. Now, ultimately, we might have lost that, and ultimately, Presbyterian Care might have got their way, but they weren't going to get it without a fight. So, and that's the approach that I take to most things. One highlight would be the professional rates case for ambulance paramedics. That was a large work value case that the HACSU hired a barrister from Melbourne to assist us with that case. It went on for months. The government hired Herbert Smith Freehills, who are a huge multinational law firm. We were up against 3 solicitors and a barrister, plus they had the whole Department of Health behind them, and we beat them, and we beat them easy. So that resulted in a double-digit pay rise and professional recognition for paramedics in Tasmania. So that's always one that sticks in my mind, just simply because of the amount of work that was done. I enjoy Muay Thai. Like I do Muay Thai at a local gym here a couple of times a week. It's not something that a lot of people know that I do, but it's something that I really enjoy, and I'm actually heading to Thailand later in the year and gonna do a few sessions in a proper gym over there.